So, someone we have been talking about in podcasts in the past, um, Crash Bandicoot. They had a couple of announcements with him lately. Um, and it's been really weird. Like, if you've been watching YouTubers who actually talk about this topic of, Crash Bandicoot possibly making a return into his own games, a lot of them have been like, no, it's not going to happen because, um, Activision has the rights to him, or this company has the rights to him, or no one knows who has the rights to him. So it would be a legal nightmare to get this done. Well, I always thought that, okay, if Sega is asking if Sonic would fit in a crossover game with Crash, they obviously know something that we don't. And that was actually what convinced me. Just a little, casual, innocent survey that, hey, Crash's name just randomly pops up. A character who hasn't been relevant in years. So they had a whole segment in the press conference with Crash about how he's going to be in Skylanders, in the new Skylanders game coming up. And I don't know what I think about his updated character model. I love that classic PS1, even though it's jaggy. But I love that classic PS1 character model of Crash that still, despite it being PS1 era, it still was able to exude all of the zany, crazy attitude that Crash has. So I hope that that's not going to get lost on anything with that they're going to do with Crash. But the secondary announcement that they just kind of mentioned in passing that really got me hyped, and if they I'm about 75% sure that I will definitely be picking these up when they release it. They are remastering the original Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, and 3, or Warped, which are some of the best PlayStation 1 platforming games, period. So I am excited about that part.
I definitely feel. Actually, no, I might have a little bit more to say about this. The whole thing about Crash coming to Skylanders, it kind of makes me think about how uh, when I first saw Skylanders, I was looking at them and like, okay, these are all like original things that no one really knows about, so it might not be as popular. And then they throw like Spyro and Cinder in there, which are characters. Spyro is clearly been a character or an IP for a very long time. Cinder came a little bit later in the series, but she's also kind of iconic into the game. And they were just kind of thrown in there, and it was at first like like Spyro's new adventure game, but then it turned into like more of like these other characters, and Spyro was just kind of like he's just like an add-on,
Yeah,
um, which made me kind of upset because I'm actually a pretty big fan of the Spyro series. Um,
they're awesome games,
I absolutely loved them.
especially the PS1 ones.
Oh yeah, those were amazing. I remember playing those as a little kid. And but just to see him kind of just turn into like a toy, just like a little collectathon thing, or just this little. It's not really his game, but he's put into it forcefully to like helpfully like sell more. And then they have Crash Bandicoot be added onto this to kind of do like the same thing, because I feel like they kind of they saw that what was it, Disney Infinity is stopping.
Right.
So, maybe sales for that kind of stuff has been going down. So maybe they were like, maybe we can get some more fans if we throw more like original PlayStation IPs, like
Hmm.
let's see, Crash.
Yeah.
And yeah, like his design in the game looks so like what they did with Spyro. Like Spyro's design in this game is just not. It's not him. They try and make him look like cool to like an 8-year-old or a 10-year-old, and it's just like weird. and they kind of did the same thing with Crash, although
Hmm.
Crash kind of looks like a kid version of himself. And I don't know. I didn't like Spyro being a part of it, and I definitely don't like seeing Crash a part of it. But the whole remasters of 1, 2, and 3, I was really excited about too because uh, in my last college semester, me and some buddies on my floor, we all pitched in and we all got like the first three Crash Bandicoot games, and we were like trying to 100% all of them. Um,
Not easy.
no, it's not. And not to toot my own horn, but I was pretty much the best person playing those games. To be fair, I was like the only like serious gamer a part of that group. But we did play all of them, and we took turns while playing them, and it was just like it was really fun because like when those games first came out, I was like 4 or 3, and I didn't really get the concept of like what a game was and like how to do things. I was
Right.
just kind of like, I'm going up and down with a fluffy animal. This is my life now, and I'm okay with that. And playing them now as like a college student, I'm just kind of like really into games, and it's just like, okay, I get the feeling, like what to do, bounce on the boxes, don't run into the enemies, and I made it past the first level for the first time in my life. Uh, but I'm actually really excited to see those three games get remastered. I'm interested to see what they'll do with Crash's sprite. Maybe just like I did kind of like his look. What was it? The one where it's not really a Crash game, where he's like riding on different like monsters and like uses them as mounts. It's kind of like a racer, but it's still kind of like a platformer.
I really couldn't tell you. I didn't really follow the later. Once Naughty Dog stopped making them, I kind of didn't follow it anymore.
This is probably a decision I should have made, but what they did with his character model was just kind of is he kind of stayed the same. There was nothing like super extreme added onto him or like changed like they did with Sonic and Sonic Boom, where they like tried to make him look more sporty. It was just like a cleaner looking of Crash. And I feel like if they do that and go away from this like 10-year-old interpretation of Crash Bandicoot for Skylanders, I feel like they'll do a lot better. Um, apart from just my personal opinion, I think that this is going to be really cool, and maybe probably not. And I don't know how much I actually want this, but maybe a new Crash game, just because like some original IPs are coming back with newer versions of their old games.
But make it play like the old game where you
Yeah,
just basically go into the screen. You don't really have, many branching paths or anything, or have it switch between 3D and 2D. That's really what the draw of with Crash Bandicoot. And as soon as they dropped that gameplay, that's when it started going downhill.